Hi there, Ana Cortez here, author and co-creator of the Playing Card Oracles, a completely unique system resurrecting the original use of the 52 card deck. And I'm here today with a question posed by a couple of members over at the anacortez.com forum. And this is a question I've asked myself over these many years, and I think it's a great question that applies to all of us card readers out there. So the question was how to approach a daily practice with the cards. Do you need to have all the cards memorized before you do that? Should you use spreads from the book? What kind of questions should you ask? This kind of thing. And so thank you, Book Tea and Celtic, for asking this question. And here's my advice. Number one, you've got to get your hands on the cards every day. If you have them memorized, if you don't, no matter what stage you're at, put your hands on the cards. You've got to begin forging that visceral, physical connection with your deck. That's where the magic takes place. And so do it. Just dive right in. Number two, the other important thing is don't ask personal questions every day of your cards. This is going to build a wonderful community of complete narcissists. And we're narcissistic enough as human beings. We want to be sane human beings. And so there's got to be a different way to work with our cards. Do you know you don't even need a question to work with your cards? We're going to become childlike in a daily practice. Children just play, and that's what I want to encourage you to do with your cards. This is the best way to build a real relationship with your deck. So just start moving the cards around. What kind of mood am I in when I wake up in the morning? Am I in a completely impassioned mood? Am I feeling feisty? I might just huck my deck at the wall and see what happens. Cards flying everywhere. Maybe a card lands on the dresser. Perfect. Fantastic. You've got a layout, right? You've got cards that you can look at and start interpreting. Cards just want someone to talk to. Cards love to talk. So we're going to start listening, and we're going to start reading stories into what we see. Are you in a particularly sleepy mood in the morning? Maybe you'll just drag a card off the top of your deck and turn it over right there where you're sitting with your coffee. Perfect. Fine. That's completely valid. And one card can be a story. One card can be a story. Why? Because cards are in an environment. As soon as we pull them out, they exist within a larger landscape that is maybe my kitchen. And let's say I've got a cup of coffee next to that card that I turned over. Well, as oracles, I think we are practicing becoming open to messages coming from all kinds of different sources. And for me, that has always blended into my card reading and provided a richer palette for me to draw from for my stories. So if that card, let's say the Queen of Spades, is laying next to a cup of coffee, and I'm looking for a story, I could say that this woman is in the mood for a little relaxation time, a little conversation time, and maybe that would suit her very well that day. So I might give that to myself that day, or I might just look for that situation coming up at some point during my day, or maybe it just applies to me right at that moment at my kitchen table. So I take these stories and I just go out into my day with them tucked in the back of my brain somewhere. And I see if something during my day applies to what I saw that morning. It might fine tune a story that I had thought of with those cards, give more detail. It might relate to something that I hear in the news later that day, or I might just completely forget about it and that's it until the next day. And it's all just fine. And so don't worry if you don't know all the meanings of your cards, whatever particular deck it is that you're getting to know. That's okay. That's actually an opportunity that you have at an early stage of learning any particular card system, because it teaches you to trust yourself. So I would say avoid running to get your book when you're doing your daily morning practice. At least some of the times, just look at the card and see how it's talking to you. See what you notice in the card. That's completely perfect, right? See what you notice. You'll notice something that isn't in the book. You'll see something in a new way. And your relationship with your own deck will become completely unique, which is what we want. We want a very alive relationship with our card deck. So whatever card system that you're using. And of course, I love my card reading system, which you can check out if you haven't already over at anacortez.com. There's a free download of the ebook version of the Playing Card Oracles. And you get the entire book for free when you download it. So you can check it out. I think there's download links in the sidebar. There's also other links if you just snoop around the site a little bit. And of course, there's a wonderful community forum, and there's a monthly lunar forecast, an oracle forecast. That's a podcast. So all you have to do is click the play button and get on board. So thank you so much for watching, and happy card reading.